Malzahn.
Okay, guys. I told you I was going to take my time hiring coordinators. It took me about 48 hours. So really excited today with the two guys that are here. I was able to hire an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator, which I thought was very important, and that was part of our priority. First of all, our defensive coordinator, Ellis Johnson, one of the best defensive minds in all of college football. I've got a chance to coach against him numerous times, and when you coach against somebody, you really find out a lot about him. And he's very familiar with the SEC. He's a man of character, and we're tickled to death to have Ellis Johnson, our defense coordinator.
Well, it's an honor for me to be here. Before I make any comments, I want to recognize my wife, Caroline, who's here today. And we have been dating about 15 years. We've been married for 13 years. And I've moved her 7 times now, so she's a trooper. She's a fan. She's a good football mom, a good recruiter, and I appreciate all of her support. The things that I have to mention is how proud I am to be at Auburn. This is a university that I've competed against at East Carolina, Southern Miss, Alabama, Mississippi State, South Carolina. It's a place that I've always admired and respected. And just a great tradition, the tradition of defense, and I think it's something we've got to try to uphold. Very honored to have an opportunity to work with Coach Malzahn. He just said, when you coach against people, you really begin to have a deep respect for them as a coach, and I know what a great person he is also. Our friendship does not go back very far, but we have mutual friends that I've known for many years, and he's one of the finest people in our profession, and he's what coaches should represent in our profession. Also glad to be in the state of Alabama. The high school coaches and the high school football in this state is fantastic. I've been coaching college for 32 years, all of it in the Southeast. I've recruited all over the Southeast, been in a lot of high schools, and I think the high school coaches and the high school football in Alabama is just tremendous. And obviously I've talked about the Southeastern Conference. It's an honor to be back in the Southeastern Conference. College football is probably one of the most entertaining things today in our sports world, and I think the Southeastern Conference is leading the way on showing how to do college football, so it's an honor to be back in. It's the blueprint. So in my feeling, this opportunity for me, I'm very fortunate, very proud to be here, and excited about working with Coach Malzahn. And it's a home run for me to have this opportunity at this time in my career.
Thank you, Coach. Our offensive coordinator, Rhett Lashlee. Very familiar with Rhett. He's one of the bright, young, and up-and-coming offensive minds in all of college football. He's been my right-hand man at 3 different stops in college. At Arkansas, he was my right-hand man. I relied on him a lot. Here at Auburn, he deserves a lot of the credit for our offensive success that we had. And, of course, this past year at Arkansas State, just did a phenomenal job. Know exactly what I'm getting. He's going to give me the flexibility to help with the offense and at the same time be a head coach and do the things that a head coach has to do. And he's definitely a great example for our players. He's a man of character. So I'll turn it over to Rhett.
Well, first things first, War Eagle. And I want to thank someone I have a lot of respect for, Jay Jacobs, for the opportunity to come back, and Coach Malzahn for entrusting me with this opportunity. And just like Coach Johnson, I got to thank my wife, Lauren. You know, coaches' wives in this profession, I think people have heard it said before, but they sacrifice more than anybody. And she's my rock. Our twin boys, Thomas and Hudson, they allow me the ability to do what God's called me to do, and I appreciate that from them. Also, my parents are here today. Definitely got to acknowledge Mom. That wouldn't be good if I didn't. So, love them too. They've helped shape me into what I am. I will say this: when I realized I was going to get the opportunity to come back to Auburn, the first thing that came to my mind was the fans. Think about Tiger Walk, home or away. Think about that student section. I mean, I got goosebumps just thinking about it again. I can't wait to get back out in front of our fans, the best fans in the country. There's no question about it, and that excites me. Offensively, I think people know they have some familiarity with what they're getting. You know, we're a 2-back run play action team that's going to no huddle and play at a 2-minute pace the entire game. We're going to be our identity as an offense will be to play fast and physical. And that'll be ingrained in our guys from day one. You can't have one without the other. We will play extremely fast, and we want to be very physical at every position. Some things we'll do, we'll have a physical downhill running game. We'll also be explosive in the passing game, be very aggressive, taking vertical shots down the field and stretching the field horizontally. That's our philosophy. We want to make teams defend the whole field. I think the biggest intangible and thing we've got to instill as an offense, and this has always been our philosophy, is discipline. We've got to be the most disciplined team on the field every time we take the field, and that's our philosophy. Things we must do each game to not put ourselves at a disadvantage offensively. We got to take care of the football. That's a discipline thing. We got to eliminate undisciplined penalties, things we can control that stall drives and negative plays. Those things hurt us. And then we got to have discipline off the field, in the classroom, and all those things. And that will be the number one thing we stress to our guys from the whole time we're here. But I'm thrilled and excited to be here. It's going to be fun for our guys to practice and play in this system. You know, got a lot of great memories here. Just 2 years ago, before I left, our twin boys, who are a little over 2 now, were born, and they were born right after the second game of the national championship season. So they're 12-0 with the national championship on their record here. So they're good. They're excited to come back, and now I'm glad they're going to be able to learn how to say War Eagle now that they're back. So.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go ahead and take questions at this time if you want to take those for any of the three gentlemen.
Coach Malzahn, in picking your staff and bringing Rhett, was it imperative to bring somebody that you're comfortable with to help you on your offense?
Well, you know, like I said, Rhett's been my right-hand man at 3 different stops, 2 of those stops in the SEC, and we've been successful. And he's one of the bright, young, up-and-coming minds of college football, and we're tickled to have him.
Yes. Having somebody like Coach Johnson, does that give you, just a sense of security that you don't have to worry about the day-to-day operations of all the details of defense, since it's just so good at doing that?
There's no doubt. I mean, you're talking about one of the best defensive minds in all of college football. And like I said, I got a chance to coach against him, so I know exactly what we're getting. He's a very disciplined. You play against his teams, you better have your A game. So it gives me a lot of comfort and security to have him run our defense.
Can you, Rhett, talk about how you guys work together, preparing a game plan, and then calling plays on game days?
Sure. Well, we really, like I said, he's been my right-hand man. What he's going to allow me to do is he is going to take care of the game plan throughout the week. It's going to allow me to be a head coach. I'll be in every special teams meeting. I will be on top of everything. It'll give me a chance to go on the defensive side during practice and be a head coach, because those defensive players need to see a head coach down there with them. But he gives me a lot of security, and like I said, I know exactly what I'm getting.
Obviously, as you said, taking your time doesn't mean it's going to be a long time. You feel like you're close to making some other decisions as far as staff? Well,
what we're doing is I want to hire coordinators first, and I want to give both these guys ownership in our assistant coaches. Now, at the end of the day, I'll make the decision, but being a former coordinator, I know how important it is to get guys that you can work with, get guys that fit in with your philosophy, and the same thing, that the hard work.
Ellis, is there any concern about, obviously, the speed of the offense, the playing fast, the kind of pressure that puts on the defense? How do you deal with that as a defensive coordinator?
I don't feel that way. I really feel like that is one of the biggest trends that have come into college football. And so if you have a difficult time handling it, you're going to have a difficult time stopping people. And the thing that I've always liked about their offensive attack that Gus has had is it has an element of physicality to it. It is a power offense that has speed and execution in the tempo, and it also spreads the field in the throwing game. College football is unique. Professional teams can go have exhibition games. High schools can have scrimmage games. College football, you work against who you are on both sides of the ball. And if your offense is missing an element of the option, missing an element of tempo, missing an element of power, then your defense is going to suffer because of that. It's not about how fast you go, it's how fast you go well. And Coach Malzahn has proven that he knows how to do that. So that is going to help our defense in the long run.
Rhett, can you talk about just being familiar with some of the guys and then being familiar with the offense and maybe some of the verbiage and things like that, how big that's going to help in the transition?
I think it's nothing but a plus, with Coach Malzahn and myself both being familiar with some of the guys, them being familiar with us, can only help, when we install this thing. But we'll install it from from the ground just like it's day one, like they've never heard it before. But it'll definitely be a plus, and it'll probably help some of the other guys because they'll be able to kind of help them understand why we do the things we do and all that. I think it's a big positive.
And because of the inability for this offense to do well, I guess, this past year, how important is it going to be for you to just kind of create the new culture? And even, maybe not even going back to 2011, 2010, when you guys were here, starting something new, is that going to be kind of the focus of like, hey, this isn't 2010, this is going to be the next?
There's no doubt. We'll start, but hey, we're focused moving forward. We're focused on ourselves and implement it like it's never been in here before.